Our first guest tonight at today's hearing, Sarah Carter, investigative reporter, Fox Business contributor. Sarah, great to see you. I have to say, in reading the transcripts, in all of this, the judge in the case seems to have gone for a moment completely nuts. What happened?
It was one of the most contentious court hearings I've ever been in my entire career, Lou. It was incredible. Right at the beginning, for at least the first 40 minutes, when the judge came out, he was really pushing, asking questions over and over to Flynn. Do you want to withdraw your plea? He made it very clear that he was very concerned about the sentencing memorandum turned in by Flynn's lawyers. This is where they disclosed the fact that there were no attorneys present, that McCabe basically kind of advised Flynn not to have an attorney present with the other FBI agents that were interviewing him, Peter Strzok and the other agent as well. There were concerns about the 302s, whether there was exculpatory information being withheld. And the judge kept pushing. He said, I'm giving you an opportunity. Please take this opportunity if you need to. Do you want to withdraw your plea? Do you want to seek the advice of other counsel? I will stop this hearing right now and allow you to speak to separate counsel. He kept saying no, 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 no. And then everything went haywire. That's when the judge became very visibly confused and upset and said, and started lobbing allegations. Remember, yesterday is when the Mueller counsel, actually, the special counsel, turned over the documents on Bijan Kian, the former primary in Flynn's intel group. That was his former partner. So everything was kind of set off kilter already because there was information coming out.
But most people, Sarah, were thinking that his requesting to see the 302s, every document involved in the Flynn case, and then the Mueller team giving them the 302 that was an impression of the interview, rather than the original 302, which ultimately you got, at 6 o'clock last night. Everyone was thinking that he was going to be taking up the misconduct of the special counsel legal team, instead turning today on General Flynn.
Turned on General Flynn. He turned on the prosecutors as well after they took the 25-minute break. Lou, right before he gave that 25-minute break today in the courtroom, he turned around and said, do you realize, and this is when after Flynn had said, no, I'm not withdrawing my plea, I'm not withdrawing my plea. That's when he said, do you realize that these charges are very serious? What you're saying is that you lied to 2 FBI agents in the West Wing of the White House. And then he stopped and he said, you're still cooperating with the special counsel. And that's when the special counsel had admitted that. So he gave the opportunity to postpone the hearing. So he basically told Flynn, look, take everything I'm giving you right now if you're not going to withdraw your plea. But you're absolutely right. I was stunned that that Judge Sullivan didn't at that point also chide the prosecutors on the 302s, the failure to turn in the correct ones, also their behavior on how they questioned Flynn. It was really disturbing. And at the very end of it all, obviously, he's getting a March 13th. They've indefinitely postponed it, but they're going to meet on the calendar March 13th.
Well, I can't imagine we're going to take up here tonight whether this judge should be sitting on this trial, period, with our attorneys here tonight. It's stunning to me that this judge, who has such a reputation of holding prosecutors to a high standard, would suddenly decide he is a member of the prosecution, and to claim that General Flynn had committed treason. It was utterly absurd. And what was his demeanor when he withdrew the comment?
Well, he came back out and he said, I want to withdraw that comment. That was not accurate. He had assumed, which was really strange. It was almost like he was off on all of his timelines. He had assumed that Flynn was still working as a foreign agent or working on contracts during the time he was with the president. And then he had to come back and say, I'm withdrawing that comment. And what I'm asking here is questions. I'm not asking you to take everything I say literally. I'm trying to figure out out where we're going here and what the prosecution and defense are taking us to. So at that point, actually, Sullivan was backtracking, and it was very confusing for the people in the audience, as I'm sure as well for the attorneys, both standing up there in front of Judge Sullivan. It was a really tough day, really tough day, and you could see the demeanor of Lieutenant General Michael Flynn. It was just disheartening. He came in one way, and after the 25-minute break, his whole body language just changed, and then they took the postponement.
Yeah, it's a shame. This judge, no matter the utter, inexplicable, bizarre conduct on the part of the judge today, he had such a good reputation as a stickler for procedure on the part and the rights of defendants in the face of seemingly all-powerful federal prosecutors.
That's right, Lou. And he was trying to find the predicate. He kept pushing on the question. Like, what was the criminal predicate? What was the predicate for questioning Flynn? What was the crime?
And it's a great question.
Well, and the answer was completely different than what Comey delivered to Congress. Right. The other day, when I'm going through the transcripts of what Comey said, he was saying, well, because he had heard the vice president, and what the vice president said wasn't the same as what Flynn said. And when he was questioned on that, why didn't you just tell the vice president that what he's saying isn't true and have the vice president question Flynn? He said, well, I guess I could have done that, but I didn't. But then in the courthouse today, they started talking about the Logan Act. I'm telling you right now, Lou.
The Logan Act, the unprosecutable.
And that's when everybody laughed. That's when everybody laughed, even the judge. So there are two different stories here. Nothing is making sense about this. And there are still a number of questions regarding why these two FBI agents went to question Flynn in the White House without an attorney present.
There is one constant in all of this, and that is that it remains a witch hunt. Prosecutors without sense of proportion or any comprehension of the proper conduct on the part of a nonpartisan prosecutor instead of a political and very partisan persecution of an administration, a presidential administration. Sarah Carter, thank you so much for being with us, as always. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lou.